Hey everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Elric, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how we're going to be loading that JSON data from the Reddit submissions into the system, and how I've created a very generic way to load posts, whether they're from Twitter or Reddit or wherever. It doesn't matter. Tweets, it doesn't matter. So this is kind of the load video for all of them, and I will touch up on the videos each time, or this concept each time we get to that point. So I hope you enjoy, and I will see you soon. So it's really important to understand how this procedure came to be, and I had deleted a couple procedures because with master data management, I mean, you don't know exactly what the patterns are when you're creating new items. So what I had done is I had created a submission only ETL process where, I'm moving a little too fast. Let me scroll up and move this over. Where I had specifically hard-coded items in here. So I was looking for a comment ID and the ID in the JSON that was coming in. The comment ID was located in the JSON key ID, and the rest of this is really the same, and I'll go over it in a moment. And then with submission, the same kind of thing, where I would call this submission procedure, and it would be looking for a submission ID because it's specific to the submission. So the JSON that was coming in to load this post contained a submission ID, and I was looking for the submission post or identifier type. So what that became is I was able to send in a key which would rotate or be submission or comment, and the JSON comparator, which would be ID or submission ID or subreddit ID or whatever the post may be, that main identifier in the incoming JSON, and the post type being what type it is. And I like to call these implied relationships because there's no real relationship behind them, like no two keys in a table. What's going on is that we're being so consistent in the namings that we use and where we name our realm, class, family, and type, that if this is submission, we'll get one ID. If it's comment, we'll get another ID. And I'll leave that highlighted because, well, here's the comparator. It will be submission underscore ID or ID, and know that depending on what's going on, it will recognize that it's a comment or not. Again, with the consistency, this will be comment space ID or submission space ID to find the appropriate identifier to make sure the post doesn't exist yet. Because this is still generically, or I should make it generically named, but it's just an identifier. We could name that to a proper, vaguely named key. So knowing that we can take submissions or comments and they have this different JSON items, and our mapping is taking care of a lot of stuff going from the JSON to the realm, class, family, type, what we do is what I demoed in the previous video was this piece. So when it comes in and says, oh, it's submission, or oh, it's a comment, it will get the appropriate realm, class, family, type, destination, and the type ID for that key that's being passed in, which could be number of comments, it could be score, it could be whatever, but it's going to be limited to that comment or submission. So now after we get that mapping type ID, we need to figure out what mapping key name it is, and I can actually do this so it'll make more sense. It's going to tell us if it's an address, contact, flag. Most of these are repeated because we're taking subreddit and comment and Redditor and submission into account. But once we get that information, it's going to, start filtering out. Well, if it's an event, we need to get the event ID for these realm, class, family, type destination pieces. And if that event doesn't exist yet, we need to create our 3 dates that we have all the time, our date, date time, and date ID, just like history, just like archive, just like snapshot. Event has them too. We always want to put 3 dates in because those are the most common ways to use dates. If it's numeric, the same, this was copy pasted code replacing event with numeric, and it works from the previous example. This is a little, the select statements and the insert statements are a little different because one of these items change. So the post numeric changes, or there are 3 events that change. And numeric is definitely a different beast. Numeric and flag, what we want to do is we're going to try to retrieve the information, all of the information, because this is how we handle change management or versioning inside of master data management, is we're going to try to get all the values we need that are current for that specific post ID and numeric type. Try convert our numeric that we found in the JSON. And if the value is not null, if this item actually contains a value and we don't have a numeric post for it or a numeric record for it yet, we're going to insert it. Else, we're going to update it if they are not the same value. And this allows us to update, our score or a number of comments based on the incoming value. And because we're using these procedures, we can see it start to change. All right, these were updated, so these comments are going up and the score is going down or whatever, which will provide us some more information when we analyze what is happening. Once again, repeat of code. Is it an identifier? Get the identifier type for those mapping key names. Get the post identifier ID for that identifier type. And every time you see, post shared attribute ID, that's referring to the primary key of these tables, of these shared attribute base cross tables. So this would have a post address ID. This would have a post identifier ID, which is what we're looking at right now. Post identifiers, we just want to make sure if they don't exist, we're going to attach them. Addresses, same thing. Normally addresses will not change. So if it doesn't exist, then add it. Like I said, all this is just copy pasted code. Copy pasted code, text. If it doesn't exist, we do a little sorting, because the reason why we have 4 different values for text, a max, 1,000, 2,000, 250, is because we can non-cluster in such a way to keep these optimized. So we don't want to store, something that's 100 characters in a max area. We want to keep it in the 250 block, and we have kind of just an easier way to sort your data. And a simple concat function will ignore the nulls and get you the correct one. So you could do select concat each of these fields, and you'll always get the most current. Make sure you start with max just to avoid any truncation that SQL does silently. And then finally, actually, nope, 2 more, I believe. Name, same copy paste kind of thing. Clearing the name type ID, using the mapping to get the correct name type ID. If the name type ID doesn't exist for the current post, then add it. And then flag is kind of like numeric, where we're going to get all of this information for the flag. Because is stickied, is gold, is friend, all those things can change. So we want to make sure that we are changing those things as necessary, and using these versioning procedures, we'll be able to track those changes. Once again, if it does exist and the flag value has not changed, then we are going to skip the update process. And that is basically it, committing the transaction per JSON item that we're doing, and then just looping through the JSON values themselves. And if we send it an array, multiple submissions or multiple comments, it'll just repeat this process. So that is the load piece of our submissions and actually our comments too, which I'll start getting into in the next video, the extraction of comments, which will be pretty quick because, the extraction will be about the Python and the transform will be almost a repeat of video 2 in this series, and the load will be this procedure, and I'll touch up on it again. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, like this video and YouTube will recommend it to other users, and subscribe to support me. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.